Welcome to Get and Keep Biz, the video learning series. My name is Tim McMahon. We're going to take you through something called marketing strategy today, defined as involving two major activities: selecting a target market, determining the desired positioning in the target customer's mind, and specifying the plan for marketing activities to achieve the desired positioning. In other words, its unique selling proposition at the end of the day. So let's try to understand a little bit more about needs and wants, because that kind of underpins the whole idea of strategy. A need is a basic biological motive. They can be social, cultural, personal, whereas a want is a way we've learned to satisfy a need. That's the marketing way that we describe this, because that gives us an opportunity then to take a need and develop a want. The want then is the way that we define a person might want that. People inherently have needs. Marketers motivate their wants. Do you understand? So by calling it and describing it and understanding it as a want, something that we can provide and uniquely provide, we have an upper hand on being able to prepare it and present it. Two kinds of needs, essentially: utilitarian, which are functional or practical, and this great 25-cent word, hedonic, experiential or emotional. Basically, you look at those two things, utilitarian and hedonic, you'll see that come up over and over and over as we discuss persuasion and those sorts of things. This here is what we'd call utilitarian. Of course, the Corvette on the right is the hedonic purchase. Whether the need is utilitarian or hedonic, the magnitude of the tension it creates will determine the urgency the consumer feels to reduce it. The degree of arousal is called a drive, and there are multiple paths to satisfying a need, and specific path chosen is influenced by an individual's unique set of experiences and values, influenced by culture, and also our ability to tap into those. But you think about a company like Nike and you talk about competition. Well, competition becomes that important scheme by which we will all compete at some point in time. You think Nike's sitting on top of the world, they don't have a thing to worry about, but think about the number of competitors they have in active sports, in golf, in sportswear, in kids' shoes and action wear, in training, in running. These are the worlds in which Nike operates, and all of those are individual competitors that would love to have a part of Nike's share. So to make sense of this landscape, we break up the general market into segments or categories of products. So while Nike may be in sporting goods, they're in each one of these individual sub-segments. And when you think about it, Nike is the 800-pound gorilla. They outspend everybody by a long shot. Fiscal year 14, Nike spent $3 billion on demand creation. That's $8 million per day, $350,000 per hour, $6,000 per minute, $100 per second. Oop, there went several just as I'm saying. So to create a successful strategy, and that's what this is the strategic challenge, we must understand its inherent strengths of the company and identify its target customer. Then it must make sense out of the competition. The competition is what we are always focused on. First of all, that lies under the notion that customers are what the competitors and our company are all seeking. So we try to understand customers. Number one, different customers buy different kinds of value. It's kind of a precept we need to settle on and understand. Secondly, as value standards rise, so do customer expectations. So you can stay ahead only by moving ahead. Remember our pizza example? Way back in the day, it was just important to have some cheap little crust with a place to get it, and that all changed over time because standards rose and customer expectations rose. 3, producing an unmatched level of a particular value requires a superior operating model. That's why we need to know so much about the internal operation of our company. A machine is what we're trying to do, a well-oiled machine dedicated to producing just the right kind of value. Would each of these individuals go to the same place for a haircut? Well, probably not. However, if they did, it would mean they have not really many options, or they all hold the same conception of value. And we, looking at those 4 characters, probably wouldn't necessarily believe that. So would each of these individuals go to the same place for a haircut? Probably not. But what we do know is that because each of them likely has a different conception of services and benefits expected from a haircut, they will go to different places. Take this fellow. Haircut? Well, this fellow may simply want a haircut. He will get it from many places. But at Sports Clips, now we're talking, he will get a haircut tailored to a sports-loving guy. Sports Clip is betting that some of its customers, some customers out there, will want something more than simply their hair cut. For customers attracted to Sports Clips, their standard of value for a haircut rises when they see they can get something they value from a place like Sports Clip, like videos and the whole atmosphere of a locker room or a sporting event or venue. As value standards rise, so do customer expectations. But what happens when a competitor ups the game, like Sports Clips does here? Sports Clips creates a bundle of benefits to satisfy their target customer. The haircut satisfies his core need. The extra benefits augment the experience, as Silk would say in the book. Combining core and augmented benefits is what we call the bundle of benefits. It's the bundle of benefits rising that raises customers' awareness and needs. So to satisfy Sports Clips customer expectation, the firm must build an operating model. And that really it turns out to be a special one that has a specific value proposition. Sports Clips target customers as follows. First of all, in their analysis, they discovered the segment of the market would place value on haircut experience that placed a value on sports entertainment would be this fellow. Their value proposition answered the simple question, why should the target customer prefer the firm's offer over the competitor's offer? Sports Clips created a new standard of value for haircuts. And the value was changed. The value proposition is the heart of positioning, remember, and that provides a convincing answer to a simple question, the one we started out with. Why should the target customer prefer the firm's offer over the competitor's offer? So Sports Clips created a new standard. Tracy and Wiersma will define this as the sum of benefits received minus the cost incurred. Because for Sports Clips to create those clever little places they do their work, they have to come up with clever promotions and clever schemes and dress their people differently. And there's usually costs incurred in differentiation. Tracy and Wiersma in their book, Discipline of Marketing Leaders, really discovered that benefits received minus the cost incurred is kind of the underpinning, the importance. These things can create or destroy value for the customer in the area of price, product quality, product features, service convenience, service reliability, expert advice, support services. Think about Sports Clips and where they might shine in each one of these given areas. So there we have it. The value added or destroyed depends on how much the value exceeds or falls short of the customer expectations. So understanding what the customer wants and delivering precisely on that need is really creating the want that we want to have happen. Next up, we will discuss the second part of marketing strategy.